Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Bob Martin. I'm the President and CEO of the Imagine America Foundation, also known as IAF. I want to welcome all of our visitors to the fourth year of our IAF Career College Exposition webinar series, where we have now produced and distributed more than 150 webinars, with our total viewers and listeners now surpassing 5,000 local educators and counselors. To our continued listeners, thank you for your continued support. For our new listeners, welcome. I'm excited about today's career topic. Is the college degree the only ticket to success? Sponsored by Universal Technical Institute, or UTI. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 18 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 24-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having now provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 11,300 enrolling Imagine America students since 2016. Without taking valuable time from our presentation, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation, or IAF, to our website, www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a never-ending, severe shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees. We frankly just need to continue doing more. Our partner in today's presentation, as I've said before, is Universal Technical Institute, or UTI. Joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping to meet the need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with extensive K-12 background. Before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me very quickly outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, including questions and answers. Once we finish these remarks, we're going to move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, we'll take all questions that are offered from the participants. We'll address as many of those questions as possible and provide written follow-up responses in emails if needed. We will have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Bob, and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're exclusively looking at the Texas area today, and I know you're busy people, and I just appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time and spending it with me. So let's get right into our presentation today. There's definitely a movement in our country today to learn more about CTE STEM career pathways and alternatives that we have to what we call a traditional education, or a 4-year, 5-year, 6-year degree. And that's really what I want to focus on today. One of the biggest changes that is taking place now is with the students that we're dealing with, these Gen Z students. As you know, dealing with them, they are a different breed. I always hear all the time, oh, they're lazy. Oh, they don't want to work, all that stuff. No, that's not true at all. They just learn differently, and we have to adapt to what they're looking for. They don't think that a 4-year degree is the only option any longer. They're really thinking that they want to look at other alternatives. You think about it, these kids, they want things now. They want it instant. They're willing to work, but they're not willing to go to school 4, 5, 6 years just to get their education. They're not emailers. They're Snapchatters. They're Instagrammers. They're texters. They want things now. And so the type of education in the skilled trades area really suits them very well, and what they're looking for, and can help lead to a lucrative career for them. 85% of young people value a skilled trades career, but only 16% are very likely to consider such a career. You might say, well, why is that the case? Well, my theory is we coach them out of it. You know, the one question we ask every little kid in the country is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they'll tell us, oh, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a teacher. Right. Well, then why do we have a shortage of all those areas? Simple. We coach them out of it. We talk them out of it. You know, oh, that's cute that you want to be a fireman or policeman. You don't want to do that because it's, you know, they didn't pay very well and they're it's dangerous work. You know, let's be something else. And so we push them into other areas. You know, the other problem that we're running into is the underrepresentation of women in the industry. You know, there's 27% of STEM careers that are filled by female, when the female population is just over 50%. So that's not making sense either. We've got to get more females involved in CTE programs, and UTI is trying to do that, which I'll mention a little bit later in the presentation. So where did this all start? You must go to college in order to get a good job. Well, this started clear back in 1971, Griggs versus Duke Power and Energy. Back then, everyone took aptitude tests. They took special type of tests to see what they were good at, what they were qualified for. Well, a lawsuit ensued, as it always does, and they were thrown out. It's not fair. People in Texas don't have the same I guess you might say backgrounds or the best or the same knowledge available to them as someone in California or someone in New York, someone in Kansas, who knows? So they were thrown out. Duke Power and Energy says, okay, that's all well and good, but what are we going to use here? A college degree. If you have a college degree, you're automatically smart, you're automatically qualified to do something. Because you have that college degree, that's your get out of jail free card, you might say. And we know today that's just not working any longer as students are looking for alternatives to traditional education. So I always talk about the old smart versus the new smart. What we used to think about with students was get into the best college you possibly can. Well, says who? You know, what is the best college? You know, colleges will say, well, we're number one in journalism, or we're number one in law, or we're number one in occupational therapy, you know, whatever. Well, says who? You know, so instead of approaching that way, you know, we need to think of alternative. It used to be, hey, take the hardest subjects you can, take all those weighted courses, take the dual enrollment courses, build that resume up, help every little old man, a little old lady across the street, because that's going to look good on your resume. You know, do community service, all these things, and then get into the best school you can. Then when you get there, then figure it out what it is you want to do. Come out and say, here I am, world. I got a college degree. Hire me. And we know it's just not working any longer. So I fast forward to today, the new smart. What we want to focus on is let's get into a good career. Now, how do we do that? Well, it starts at the elementary level. I know that many post-secondary schools focus on juniors and seniors, but in reality, the seeds are planted in the upper elementary and middle school areas. This is where we want to start showing them what occupations are available to them. And then we want to expose them by having presenters come in. Like UTI, we go in and do workshops. They're not UTI infomercials. They're about the industry. They're about the things I'm talking about today. They're about what students need to know. Students don't know how much it costs to live. They don't have a clue how much rent is. And so we can help them with all those things. You know, take them on field trips. One of the things that we love to do is we have industry days where we do them at dealerships. We invite students, parents, and educators in so they can see what a dealership really is like today, because they don't have a clue. They think it's going to be a dirty, oily, greasy mess, you know, and that's not true. You know, as I always say, used to be you go in to get your car worked on, you might get a bottle of water. Now you get a glass of champagne. You know, it's totally different. And then what we want to do is we want to find out what post-secondary pathway your students need. And then let's find the school's going to be best for them. If they want to be a welder, why would we send them to the University of Texas or Texas Tech? Why would we do that? You know, let's send them to a welding school where they can learn the skills that they're going to need. So that's the biggest difference between the old smart and the new smart, I might say. Now, you probably recognize this guy in here, Mike Rowe, America's Dirtiest Jobs. Not every child will become a lawyer or a doctor. Teach your kids that it's okay to work with your hands and build cool stuff. And that's the message I'm trying to bring to you today. Some of your students are going to be lawyers and doctors. They're going to be veterinarians. They're going to need that college degree to achieve their career pathway. But some of your students just don't. They love to work with their hands. They love to build things. They love to do things. So we need to encourage them as well too. One of the things I always tell school counselors all the time is, if you're having college fairs, stop. Don't have college fairs anymore. Have career fairs. Include all of your students. When you say college fair, some of your students feel left out. They think, wow, I'm not going to college, so I guess this isn't for me. So we want to expose the students to career fairs and what is available to them out there in the world. This is my favorite slide. Of all the slides that I show you today, this is my favorite, because what this does, this shows what an employer sees in an employee and what an employee sees in themselves. For instance, professionalism, work ethic. You can see that the employer saw the employee at a 42.5% proficiency. The employees saw themselves at almost 90% proficiency, over double. Oral and written communications, 41.6%. The employees saw themselves at almost 80%. So how can there be such a discrepancy in these numbers in what an employer sees and what the employee really is, thinks of themselves? And once again, another theory I have is that, when students, when we start kids out, what do? Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a ribbon. Everybody gets some kind of a medal or something. Nobody fails. Nobody loses. No, we can't let that happen. And that's a huge mistake. We need to teach students how to fail, because that's how you learn. You and I have we've had failures in our lives that we've learned from and gotten better with. So what happens if we don't correct this is that when they get up and they get out to their career pathway and they get out into the work world, then reality slaps them in the face. I don't think we have to be mean about it. We say, hey, that's stupid. Where'd you come up with that dumb answer? I don't think we need to be that way. But it's okay to say, no, that's not really right. That's not where we're headed. Let's look at this again. We need to show them that, yeah, you're not right all the time. And we teach them how to rebound from their failures. They're going to be just that much more successful. They're going to be ready, when adversity strikes. This is a pretty sad statistic, but almost half of our college graduates, those with a bachelor's degree or higher, have degrees they're not even using. They didn't even need them. Yet they spent the time, the energy, and the money to achieve these degrees. And it's like I always use the analogy, going and buying a brand new car, pull it into the driveway, pull it into the garage, park it, leave it. Don't drive it again. That's exactly what's happening. We can't allow that to happen. That's why, as educators, it's important for us to give these kids good career readiness and career pathway examples so that they choose correctly and they don't put themselves through unneeded time, energy, and money. So when we look at this slide, essential STEM skilled trades, you might look at that and say, what word is most important on this page? Well, it's the word essential. Now, these aren't essential because we teach all of them, because, we do, but that's not why they're essential. They're essential because think of your life without these in them. Now you might look at some of these, you might say aircraft mechanic, avionics technician. That's not all that important to me. Well, maybe not to you. It's sure important to me because I'm sitting in a parking lot at the airport getting ready to go to Chicago here in just a few hours. And those two people are very important to me today as I get on that plane. Or you might say a plumber. Is that really essential? Come on, is it really essential? Oh, maybe not until the toilet doesn't flush. Then all of a sudden, that's your new BFF. We have to think in terms of these are all needed. And the other part is they're all in high demand. And another part of that is they all pay well. We can't discount these. These are important skills. They're important careers that your students may want to pursue as an alternative to what we always say as a traditional type of education. Look at the demand for technicians and welders. There's over 1.4 billion vehicles on the road worldwide, 285 million of those in this country. Now, I'm not just talking about cars and trucks. You got to remember personal watercraft, snowmobiles, ATVs, UTVs, riding lawnmowers. I mean, these are all important vehicles too, and they have to be serviced. So the last statistics there, the number of technicians and welders needed by 2031, 1.7 million. And we're only talking about 7 years from now. The average age of an auto technician right now is 57. They're getting ready to retire. We have to replace them. So that's why it's so important that we continue to fill that skilled trades gap. Now, I mentioned earlier about trying to get more females involved in CTE programs. Well, something we're doing at UTI is we've started a Women in STEM program. We started this 2 years ago. We're in our third year this year. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be at one at the Lisle campus. We're expecting almost 130 girls there. When we started this, we were hoping to get 30 or 40. And we've averaged over 100 of these. Rancho Cucamonga is going to be hosting one that's got 150, maybe even 200 girls that are going to be there. It's just crazy, the numbers that are coming out here. But the mantra is, you can't be what you can't see. Think about how many female welders, plumbers, auto technicians, diesel technicians have you seen? You don't see them very often. And if you do, it's like a novelty or something. You see a road crew working, you see it's almost entirely men. Every once in a while, you'll see a woman, and they're usually holding the sign. Females need to be in these STEM careers. They can do this job. They just don't know they can. So that's why we do the Women in STEM. We bring girls to the campus. We bring a panel of women in STEM. These are highly successful women in STEM careers, so that the girls can ask them questions like, were you scared? What did your parents say when you decided you wanted to do this? What did your friends say to you? Did they make fun of you? These kind of things. We expose them to STEM activities so that they can do real world stuff. But the best part is at the end, we ask them to fill out cards. And here's one, for example. I like watching cars go fast, but wow, today I couldn't stop smiling. I was intrigued with everything. I had no idea how I would start a job in this career. Now all I can think is to apply here after high school. Here's a young lady who had no clue that this was available to her before that day. And here she is now with a renewed energy that, hey, I can do this. I've been to these where that we put them on a welding simulator. I had this one girl, she scored 100 on it. It's like, wow. They just didn't know that they could do this. So it's a very gratifying thing to see these girls with their eyes open that, hey, we can do this. Kids, hear families say, oh, can't afford school. Nothing could be further from the truth. UTI has more than $15 million in scholarships and grants that we will give out this year. And I'm telling you that based on past years, we only give out maybe half of that. We don't give out the total amount. They're there for the taking. Students have to apply for them. And, we have difficulty getting students to fill out scholarships. I know you have that same difficulty. We can expose them to these things. We can't make them do it, but there's definitely ways for students to get their education paid for. And it's just sad that they don't take advantage of this when they can. The industry relationships, we're the only school in the country that can pull this slide up. We have over 35 industry relationships. And the reason why I pull this up, not bragging because we have all of these, but I want to challenge you. If you're not getting industry involved in your school, that's a big miss for you. Industry wants to help you. They have something you don't have. They have money. I know what your budgets are like. You don't have them. I'm a retired educator. I know. So industry will work with you. We work with these guys, and you can too. And if you're too shy to ask, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text. I'll be glad to work with you to make this happen. We do it all the time with industry, and it proves to be very, very fruitful. We'll take service managers in when we meet with counselor groups or with educators, because they can say things we can't. We can't guarantee employment. We can't tell about how much you're going to make. We know, but we can't really say that. But these guys can, because they know it, because they live it. So get industry involved in your school. It can be a huge advantage for you. Now, I told you a while ago, we have trouble getting students to fill out scholarships, but we have a tuition reimbursement incentive program called TRIP. We're very excited about this. We have literally hundreds of dealerships across the country that participate in this, many in Texas, in the Texas area, a bunch, all across the country. And what they do, they will give our graduates sign-on bonuses. They will help pay off their student loans. I mean, these packages run anywhere from $10,000 up to $55,000. They'll give them a boot allowance, a tool allowance. They'll give them a tenure bonus when they stay for like 2 or 3 years. So this is a way to have your school paid for free. I know states out there have all their promises, their A+ programs, all these things where students can go to school free for 2 years. But if you look on the college scorecard, the average graduation rate of a community college right now is about 28%. Pretty dismal, because kids, they don't appreciate it. They won't finish. This tuition reimbursement program seems to be the ticket. It seems to be working with students. It gives them an incentive to finish their education so they can get the fruits of their labor. In our programs, as on all skilled trades, training is about a year in length. It could be less. We have our wind turbine program is 7 months long, but our avionics program is two years long, 24 months. So, there's quite a difference there, but on average, about a year in length. So students can get the education that they need and get out and start working. And for many of our students, they start in their career at the age of 19 or 20. So they get in early in their career. We want to stay connected. These are all of our social media, our Snapchat, our Instagram, Facebook, our YouTube, TikTok, all these things. We participate in all these because this is how we can communicate with students, but also how we can communicate with educators such as yourself. So very important for us to stay connected there. And then finally, this is my contact information. This is my email address. This is my phone number. This is my Instagram. You can follow me, Steve Coyle 2793. You follow me, I'll follow you back. I love to follow school counselors all over the country. And I just want to conclude and say that what we want to do is we want to work with school counselors any way we possibly can. We offer career workshops. We offer a STEM truck and trailer that we can bring out to your school. We offer professional development, where I will actually come in and meet with your staff, or we can have somebody from UTI do that. We can, if you catch me on a good day, I'll bring in breakfast or lunch with you as well too. But the important thing here is we want to support you and what you do. That we know what you're up against now, and we want to do anything we can. And the best part about it is we don't charge for any of this. All no expense to the school district whatsoever. So please reach out to me and I can help you with that. And then, I've learned that in this world, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how many possessions you have. What really counts is, do you have your own QR code? Well, there's mine right there. So please feel free to snap a picture of that. That's got all my contact information on it. I would love to hear from you. Comments, questions, suggestions, whatever. We're here to support you any way we possibly can. I thank you so much for your time today. I know you're busy people, and I hope to hear from you soon. Good luck for the rest of your school year, and thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Great job, as always. We've got a couple questions here right off the bat. Let's go to the first one. We've been talking to Dallas, Texas area people, but it seems like we got 1 or 2 that are non-Dallas. Why don't you, if you could, Stephen, very quickly identify the other campuses in Texas? I know we're talking Dallas, but the other campuses and the other principal programs at those campuses, please.
Yes. Yeah, we have 4 campuses. I saw that in the chat. Says, do you come to New Jersey? Most definitely we do. We have a campus in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And in fact, we'll be out there for the school counselor conference. And I go out there and I've done several county-wide counselor events. But so we have 16 campuses nationwide. And so we have the 4 in Texas, but we also have a campus in New Jersey, in Exton, Pennsylvania, and Mooresville, North Carolina, a couple of campuses in Florida. We have our campuses in Arizona. We have 3 campuses in California. Have the campus in Chicago, Lisle area. We have a campus in Michigan. as well too. So we are located all over the country, but most definitely we come to New Jersey.
Perfect. Now Texas, you got the Houston campus, you got the Dallas campus, and you got the Austin campus. Programs offered would be the WIN program. Go ahead, I'll let you say. Go ahead. Texas focus.
Okay, well, yeah, in our Texas campuses, yes, we offer, of course, our auto and diesel. What we're doing now, we acquired MIAT a couple of years ago, and so now we're incorporating those programs into our UTI campuses. So with our MIAT campus in Houston, that's actually under the UTI umbrella, we offer aviation and avionics. We offer HVAC programs there too, and of course, then we do our welding programs. So very important. So we offer a huge variety of programs in Texas. And then, of course, if there is a program that a student's looking for that's not offered at a Texas campus, we can get them to another campus because we have housing. We have housing on every campus except the Bloomfield campus. And they're not dorms, they're apartments. And you sign a personal lease, so you're not responsible for anybody else. And your lease matches your program, so you don't pay for extra housing you don't need. And we help the students get part-time jobs while they're in school. They'll pay off those to pay for their housing.
Well said. That was the next question coming in, which was housing options, because many of your, if not all of your campuses tend to have a high concentration of destination students that come there to study. So you touched upon it. You have housing options, you have housing programs that are available for parents or students that are coming in that are concerned about housing. It's an apartment house setting, right?
Yes, they're apartments, but
Perfect.
they're leased by us, and so it's only our students there. So you're not in with everybody else. You're only with our students.
Gotcha. How about GPA requirements for admission? Does UTI have GPA requirements for admission?
We do not. We do not require a GPA, certain GPA. We do not require SAT or ACT scores. We base everything on a personal interview with the student and their family. When I say family, not just mom and dad necessarily, it might be grandma and grandpa too, or aunts and uncles, cousins, whoever wants to join us. But we want to see what that student's like. We want to make sure that not only are we a good fit for them, but they're a good fit for us. We go over all the tuition, all the scholarships, all the grants that are available to them. We go over all the housing with them. We want to make sure that everything is on the table for them. So that's really what we focus on. We're going to ask the same questions that a service manager is going to ask them when they're hiring them, about your attendance, about your work ethic, those kind of things. But Bob, I will tell you this, though, that we're excited because for the first time this year, we are offering academic scholarships based on GPA, SAT, and ACT scores. So we go into a lot of academic classrooms. So therefore, we want to have something to offer those students. They're not in the shop classes. And so I'm very excited about those. It's a way for students to get more scholarship money.
Since this is a Texas area, there are a number of technical community or technical/community colleges down there. Why don't you give our audience a little bit of comparison of program, length of program, study, technology, etc., so that when these students are doing comparisons, they have a good idea of what our unique offering that we have.
Exactly. We get this all the time. There are a lot of good schools out there. I think UTI is the best, but I'm paid to say that. But the bottom line is what school is right for that particular student. That's what's important. But what's going to set us apart is we're not a community college. Don't pretend to be. We are about manufacturer specific training. So if you want to go to work for Sewell or Park Place, one of those type dealerships that work specifically on BMWs or Porsches or Mercedes or something like that, then we're your school. Our program is also much shorter. At a community college, you're going to go 2+ years. Our program is about a year in length. You're not going to take general ed subjects. We don't teach Greek mythology and religious studies and all that. Not that they're not important. I don't mean that, but we don't teach those things. Whereas you'll have to take those at community college. And oftentimes students that want to go into these are just not about that. And then once, as I said before, the manufacturer specific training that you can get and, where you can go into a specific area. And then finally, the tuition reimbursement package. I mean, that's second to none, that you could actually go to school free, but there is a catch. You got to have a good work ethic. You got to, come to class every day. You got to show that you really want this, and then it can be possible for you.
So would a summary of that be fair to say that if you have students, potential students that are very focused or are focused, know what they want to do, know what they want to do for career, want to get in, want to get out, and lower their long-term costs to do that, UTI is a pretty good option?
Yes, it really is. But once again, I know there's lots of good schools out there. That's why we do the interview, because we're honest with kids. If this isn't the right fit for you, we're going to tell you, and then maybe you want to go to a different type of school. But yeah, we can definitely fill the bill, so to speak, for what you just said, Bob.
Yep, gotcha. I promised him a hard close, so I'm going to go through a few closing housekeeping policies and procedures that we've got, just so everyone knows. We've recorded this session. We're going to take that recording and send it out to all the registrants. We're also going to post it on our website for anyone that's interested, under our YouTube channel, which is under www.imagine-america.org. We also have a survey that's going to be going out to all the participants after that. We find it very, very informative, the comments we get back, and we would appreciate registrants taking a few minutes and filling out that form and sending it back to us. Third, an exciting new feature that we've got this year is that we put together a participation certificate for those of educators that are in the audience that want to be able to document that they participated in this and the topics that were covered. That certificate can be received by simply contacting the foundation, in particular Lauren Cunningham at the Imagine America Foundation, to get that sent out to you. Before closing, I want to thank the education participants. Dr. Coyle said it earlier, for taking time out of your very busy schedule. We know that you've got a lot of demands on your time, a lot of demands of people coming to your door asking for your assistance. We appreciate you carving just a little bit of time out of the day for us. Thank you very much. We also value the time that Dr. Coyle has put on his presentation, and we really want to thank him for all that he does to support not only career students, but the Imagine America Foundation. I would encourage you to contact him directly with any questions that you may have about UTI, about these particular types of careers, or anything that you've got coming up in your area that you think would benefit from having UTI presence. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Lauren Cunningham, Dr. Coyle, and myself, we want to thank you very much and say goodbye. Have a great day.